Hello everyone and welcome back to TWIG or This Week in Gaming. I am your host Josh B from MER Gaming, and today we are covering all of the gaming news that happened this week, the week of August 7th. This week we have the launch of Overwatch 2's PvE mode and some news on Dark and Darker, the amazing success of Baldur's Gate 3, and some news about the next Call of Duty game. So let's jump right into it. To start off this week, we had the launch of Overwatch 2's Season 6, titled Invasion. With this update, Blizzard finally launched the long-awaited story missions into the game. Along with these $15 story missions came a new hero, a healer named Illari, who is based on solar power. Alongside Illari came a new game mode called Flashpoint, with 2 new maps included, New Junk City and Suravasa. This game mode is similar to the King of the Hill game mode from the Halo games. There will be a rotating capture point on the map for both teams to fight over, and the first one to capture 5 points wins the match. Alongside with this new content, Overwatch 2 was added to the Steam catalog with an overwhelmingly amount of negative reviews. Gamers flooded to the Overwatch 2 store page on Steam as soon as they could to review bomb the absolute hell out of it, making Overwatch 2 Steam's most negative reviewed game of all time in just a matter of days. For 130,000 reviews and only 9% of those being positive. It seemed like the devs were hoping that bringing it to Steam would bring in more players, but instead gave gamers the platform to show their frustration with Blizzard and the state of Overwatch. Taking a turn into a game with overwhelmingly positive reviews, we have Baldur's Gate 3. The team behind the game released stats this week, and they are quite shocking. To start, it is in 9th place on Steam's all-time peak concurrent player count, just barely under Hogwarts Legacy. Along with this, all reviews for the game are simply praising the amount of content the game offers and all the options the game gives you. Larian Studios also released some player stats that are quite insane to say the least. Only 368 people managed to finish the game in the opening weekend, and so far, the community has played over 10 million hours of gameplay, which is around 1,225 years. It's great to see how good a game can be if your studio has passion behind the project, and this game absolutely deserves all of the praise it has received and will continue to receive. Now for some news from Rockstar Games. Just this week, they announced that they are releasing Red Dead Redemption 1 and Undead Nightmare on both the Switch and PS4 on August 17th. However, this new port of the game will come with a surprising $50 price tag. For a game that is almost 14 years old, people are rightfully upset about this price point, especially due to there being no PC release of this port either, and the game itself will lack the online modes that people loved about the original game. Rockstar Games and Take-Two have come out and are justifying this price, claiming that this port is the proper price no matter what people think it should be. Along with this, we got somewhat surprising news with Rockstar Games welcoming CFX.RE to their company. Now, if you don't know who CFX are, they are the modders and creators behind the modded clients for both GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2 on PC, being FiveM and RedM. For multiple years, CFX has been developing FiveM and RedM for anyone to create servers of different varieties, from racing servers, free roam servers with loads of mods to go mess around in, and the more popular type of servers being roleplay servers. It's very interesting to see that CFX are now part of Rockstar Games, and we're pretty curious to see how this will affect those communities inside FiveM and RedM, and if this will have any sort of impact on GTA 6. Dark and Darker finally got a PC early access release this week after a year of uncertainties of when or even if this game will come out, following a lawsuit filed from Nexon. The lawsuit was over copyright infringement, and with the help of the community that they have built, they've actually been able to defend themselves and are looking to come out on top of this case. Now, after all this, the game has finally entered early access, but unfortunately not on Steam. If you want to enjoy this game, you'll have to buy it on Chaff or through their own website. Next up this week, we got a new Pokemon Presents showing us new information about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's DLCs. We got a release date for the DLC titled The Teal Mask, which is coming September 13th, along with some new Pokemon that we will encounter. The 4 new Pokemon are Diplin, a new evolution form of Applin, Archaludon, a new evolution for Duraludon, and 2 new Paradox forms for Raikou and Cobalion, names Raging Bolt and Iron Crown. They also showed us the new Elite Four that will be coming in the Indigo Disc DLC. We can't wait to see what other Pokemon will be coming as evolutions or Paradox forms. Now that the excitement of EVO has died down a little bit, we can talk about the new Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat games. Starting with Street Fighter, we got a look at the next character to be added to the roster, AKI. This new Chinese poisoned-based fighter didn't get any gameplay of her shown, but they did tell us that she is set to launch sometime in the fall. For a surprising reveal, they showed us that there will be a Ninja Turtles crossover event that is actually happening right now. This crossover includes new outfits for your custom characters to make them look like each of the 4 Ninja Turtles, along with the titles and stamps fitting to the theme. Now moving on to Mortal Kombat 1 news, we were shown a reimagined reptile that looks amazing with his shape shifting between man and lizard. They then showed off 2 fighters from the 3D era of the Mortal Kombat games, Havoc and Aura. We can't wait to get our hands on this game and see just how great it feels when it releases September 14th. And lastly, to end off this week, we got a story reveal for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This new trailer is voiced by Captain Price and shows us locations that could possibly be part of the game's story, showing us some civilians, skyscrapers, some underwater shots, and an icy plains. The trailer ends with Captain Price revealing a classic villain's return, Makarov. Makarov was the main villain of the original trilogy of the Modern Warfare games, so it'll be great to see him reimagined and what we'll be faced with when we find out more next week with the worldwide reveal happening on August 17th. And that will be it for this week in gaming. Please make sure to check out all of our other videos, subscribe for more content coming in the future of all things gaming. This has been Josh B from MER Gaming, and I will see you next week for another episode of This Week in Gaming.